Warning, the following episode does get kind of loud. So you might want to put on headphones so you don't wake up your neighbors or anyone else in the house. Also, so other people don't have to listen to my shouting. You have been warned, though. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This infringement of copyright is called fair use, and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news, reporting, teaching, and parody. This means you. There's one phrase I try my damned hardest not to use, and that phrase is mean-spirited. I avoid using this because it's a very flimsy argument. It's thrown out there usually as a weasel word in order to have an argument without really having an argument. I say this because no one really explains what they mean by mean-spirited, because mean-spirited is incredibly subjective. You can find a hug to be mean-spirited if the person being hugged doesn't want it, just to give you an idea. So let me explain what I would mean if the words ever slipped into my scripts and out of my mouth using regular show. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. Regular show really isn't the show for me. Most of the show is kind of bland in my opinion. I can never really get hooked into an episode. They're usually giant snort fests. However, one episode popped up early, which did happen to grab my attention in a not so good way. The episode in question is called Starter Pack. The episode starts with a goat named Thomas, who starts to work at the park. The beginning montage is fine. It shows the park playing some harmless pranks on Thomas, nothing too big. Maybe the stuff you'd see during April Fool's Day in the early 2000s. You know, before every company decided to go all out and basically halt progress. After Initiation Week, which I imagine is 7 days worth of pranks at work, we then cut to the next day where Muscle Man, yes, that's actually his name for those of you who don't know, decides to prank Thomas some more by loosening the floorboards on the stairs to the house. Mordecai and Rigby tell Muscle Man that Thomas is done with initiation and that he can't prank him anymore. Very strange rules this park has. Muscleman basically tells them that he'll keep pranking Thomas no matter what, and Mordecai and Rigby step in to start telling the authorities. Now, I mentioned this with one bad apple, in that if bullying is happening, the person being bullied should be the one to tell someone. I'm still a very firm believer on this. However, while doing some thinking after that review, I can see the other side of the story, and I will definitely get into that during this review. They go check up on Thomas, who's still being pranked, and Muscle Man says to,
"Chill out, bro. Learn to take a joke."
Don't mind me, I'm just putting that in my pocket for later. Mordecai and Rigby go to Skips for help, and Skips refuses to help, saying that he needs to fight his own battles. But here's the issue. He refuses to do it. He sucks Muscle Man's dick just to feel cool around the cool guys at work. I understand. Fitting in is hard for a new school, just I imagine it is with a job. But when one of your coworkers is giving you drive-by atomic wedgies, call your boss. Or, better yet, call the police. Though since Thomas won't do it, Mordecai and Rigby need to step in.
Hey, look. Thomas is cool with it.
I'm sorry, does he look okay? That seems like a look of pain to me. Mordecai and Rigby tell Thomas he needs to prank Muscleman in order to get him to stop, and Thomas says that a bully will be a bully. It's best to just suck it up and take it. Because, you know, that worked so well when the Cutie Mark Crusaders did it too. So, Mordecai and Rigby go to their boss, Benson, to try to get Muscleman to stop. Now, Benson's willing to help, albeit reluctantly, because he thinks that if Thomas doesn't mind it, it's okay. But see, that's the thing. If a person suffers from depression and hates themselves due to that depression, would it be okay for someone to bully them then? Or would you just step in and tell the bully to fuck off and leave the person suffering from depression alone? More than likely, you'd do the latter, wouldn't you? Now, I'm not saying Thomas suffers from depression. I'm no cartoon theory or anything, but Thomas really doesn't seem to like the fact that Muscle Man is pranking him. He just knows it's going to happen, so he gives up without a fight. And this is what I mean by mean-spirited. Muscle Man is being a dick just to be a dick. It's cruel, harsh, and not to mention incredibly frustrating to watch. The worst part is, this is not avoidable. Sure, Thomas could fight back, but you'll understand. So, Benson shows Muscle Man a tape on the park's policy of pranking, which teaches Muscle Man absolutely nothing except ways to put Thomas through hell. Mordecai and Rigby decide to fight fire with fire and prank Muscle Man, because I guess they saw it in a YouTube series before. Muscle Man, however, doesn't seem to take the prank well. But Muscle Man, I thought you could...
Chill out, bro. Learn to take a joke.
But see, this is where the problem is unavoidable, because apparently Muscle Man can dish it out, but refuses to take it, as he basically rips the park apart, tree by tree. Now remember, this is a show for kids, so the message is pretty clear. Make someone's life absolutely miserable, and if they retaliate, throw a tantrum and try to kill them. Real solid message there, writers. Hey, you know, your bullying messages suck when Family Guy does it better. And you want to know what really fucks this episode up for me? So let's fast forward past Muscle Man legitimately trying to kill Thomas and doing potentially thousands of dollars worth of property damage. They run into a parking lot, and Mordecai and Rigby tell Thomas to hightail it out of there. So Muscle Man picks up a fucking shed and throws it at Thomas's moving car, hitting it, crushing it, and not killing Thomas. Yeah, that's right. Turns out this was all an elaborate prank created by Muscle Man and Thomas to prank Mordecai and Rigby. First of all, I call bullshit. I refuse to allow cartoon logic a pass on this one. Thomas was in that car. If he jumped out, Mordecai and Rigby would have saw him do so. And that is not mentioning the fact that this was a stupid part of the plot for many reasons. First of all, what if Mordecai and Rigby didn't tell Thomas he was being chased? Would he have just, been ripped apart piece by piece from Muscle Man? Second, what would happen if Thomas was, I don't know, killed by one of the trees, or the fucking boulder Muscle Man threw at him? Third of all, when did he have time to plan this, and especially, how did he plan all of this? How did he know that everything was going to play out like it did? That's a trick question, because there's absolutely no way he could have known. Like, what would he have done if Mordecai and Rigby called the police? See, this bullying plot is thousands of times worse than the one in One Bad Apple. At least in the end, One Bad Apple, there was a lesson that kids could pick up on, and the good guys get away with it. The lesson here is basically, sure kids, pranks to your heart's content, even if it does thousands of dollars worth of property damage and puts someone else's life on the line. In the end, you're the antagonist who can and will get away scot-free with no downside, no consequences, and certainly not a better person. If you would like to get caught up on future reviews, there's a link in the description below to a Facebook page. Basically, all that I'm going to tell you. I mean, you can follow it. You can get all the updates to future reviews if you care. If not, I'm not going to force you to do it. It's all up to you.